Hey guys, Evan is 2100 here, and we're going to be doing another Aurora tutorial, and I've got a few things to discuss. First of all, audio sync issues are a pain in the freaking arse, and in order to solve that, I think I've fixed it. I don't actually know. I changed fraps to record instead of full size to half size. I don't know what that's actually going to do. I played a test video with it on half size, and everything still seems to be there, which doesn't make sense to me. But if it solves the issues that I've been having with sync issues, and you can still read the text and all that important stuff and still do what you've been doing since the start of the tutorial, then I'm going to keep it like that. Second of all, you're going to notice I have a Word document down here, and I did not save it, but it does not matter. What this Word document is, it's going to contain a bit of information, because as you probably know, I'm a bit slow when it comes to explaining things. That's just me anyway, that's just what I think I do. I explain things slowly. So, to help me, there's a little thing here that's going to have a couple of things on it that's going to help remind me what... See, I've already forgotten what I was going to say. See how slow I am already? It's going to help me figure out what I have to tell you guys, so I don't have to remember everything. It's only one thing, I think. But what this video is going to be about, it's going to be about terraforming, and I'm going to fix up a couple of errors that I've been making over the past few videos. Now, I haven't said this for the entire series, and I almost feel bad about saying it, but if you do like these series, you know, like the video, it's an indication to me whether you think these videos are good and whether you want more. Also, comment. Comment's important. Comment if you have questions. Comment if you want to say, hey, nice video. Just generally comment. I'm sure to respond. I'm sure, as you know, there was a couple of comments that were made. I've responded to all of them. I'll respond to as many as I can that actually need to be responded to. And if you've got any questions, just tell me. I'll add them in the next video. You know, what you can do. Also, if you feel like it, just go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more. You don't have to subscribe, but at least, you know, be nice and like the video. You don't even have to do that, but it'd be really nice. So, we last left off here, and I told you guys that you had homework, and I'm going to be having a lot of it since I'm in grade 11 next year. No, this year. What the hell? Grade 11 this year. And the homework was you had to survey at least one planet or moon or whatever, and it had to have minerals on it. I did my homework. I surveyed Luna. Luna had nice minerals on it. You're probably wondering why I asked you to do this. A, I want to make sure that you can figure some things out on your own, or at least, you know, understand how this works and why you're surveying things. And it's sort of to reiterate on what I've done and shown you guys. And B, it's going to go into terraforming. Now, terraforming planets. You want to generally terraform planets that have good minerals. Now, that's not always the case. And in this case, it's actually not. I just heard something and it was weird. Anyway, so, terraforming. Let's go to the economics page, and we're going to go to the environment. Here, we have a couple of values and such here for terraforming and atmospheric data. This comes into play when you're actually terraforming. I'm going to show you this soon. Atmospheric data is what we really want to be looking at, and these formulas are just there to help you. This is Earth's current atmosphere. You can change this later once you make colonies, and we're going to do that soon. First of all, we have nitrogen at 79%, oxygen at 20, argon at 1. The total atmospheric pressure is 1. You know, base temperature in Celsius, surface temperature, base temperature in Kelvin and whatnot, greenhouse factor. You don't really need to worry about these, more so these, because this is crucial to terraforming a planet. You need to know what gases are required on your planet, and what you need to do to actually terraform it. So, now that we've gone through all the Earth's atmosphere, I'm going to look at the system view screen. I gave you a sneak peek of this. I wasn't meant to, because I said something was on here and it wasn't. At least I don't think it is. Balls. Here we go. Also, sorry if the audio is a bit soft. Just turn your speakers up to max. I don't play with my audio up all the way, just because it makes some odd static background noise, so I turn it down. I turn it down enough where you can't really hear it, but I make it loud enough so you can hear. So yeah, it doesn't look like minerals are on here. Okay, so this is the colony screen. Well, the system screen. This is where you actually get colonies. As you can see, there's add colony here. There it is. For colonies, adding a colony basically means you're gonna use the planet. You're gonna, put population on it. You're gonna do stuff with it. And adding a colony doesn't really cost anything. No, what actually costs anything is getting the infrastructure. Now, infrastructure, I showed you how to build infrastructure. You probably haven't got much of. I probably don't have much of it myself. I'll even just check how many I've built. Amount remaining 200. I haven't even built any yet after it took me 4 days to find the minerals for showing you completed homework. So, here's the colony cost. Now the colony cost is going to determine how many infrastructure you're going to require to house a certain amount of population. If I remember correctly, the formula is the amount of infrastructure required is equal to the colony cost by the population in millions by 100. That's odd. I don't know why you have to remember that. It's just annoying, and it's not really necessary, but it sucks because you have to know it. So that means for Mars, for example, if we were to have 1 million population, the colony cost is 2.18, and you have to multiply that by 100. So we would need 218 infrastructure. Now that's why I recommended you build 200, because that's pretty close to housing 1 million population. Now we've got to think, what was it, 500 million or something like that? I mean 20 million? I'm way off. But that's how you can tell how much infrastructure you require. And you can see the reasons we're not colonizing Venus or Mercury is because they have absurd colony costs. This means for a minimum of 1 million population from Venus, you're going to require 2,500 infrastructure. That could take a long time to get, and you don't have time to be faffing about trying to colonize a planet that's probably garbage. Now, here you're also going to see an atmospheric composition. As you can see here, Mars is 70% nitrogen, 30% carbon dioxide. That's not that great, to be honest. But we can terraform that. And it's usually better in this circumstance just to use infrastructure. It's cheap and it's manageable. The times you want to be using terraforming is when you have very little to change, because terraformers, as you'll find, take a very, very, very long time to actually terraform even planets that don't require that much. That's for one terraforming module, but they're a pain in the ass to lug around. Now, these are your environmental tolerances. You'll remember at the start of the game we didn't change these, and that's because these are good settings for a new player. Gravity, you have minimum and maximum gravity allowed. If your planet that you're trying to get, if you go below or above this, you cannot have that planet full stop. You just cannot do it. There is no way you can take a planet that deviates from normal gravity. So, it'll tell you here, you don't even need to know what the gravity is. It'll just tell you if it has acceptable gravity. It tells you the gravity here if you really want to know. It'll tell you if it's acceptable. No. So we cannot have a colony on asteroid. And for pretty much, that's going to be the case for all asteroids, because they just have no gravity at all. And that makes sense, because they're pretty tiny and they don't have any sort of gravitational pull whatsoever. Oxygen in atmospheric, I think that's atmospheric pressure, the minimum is 0.1, the maximum is 0.3. As you can see, Earth is right in the middle, which is why As you'll notice, the minimum and maximum, the middle value is Earth's value. And that's why these are like they are. So as you'll probably notice, surface temperature is 22 degrees here, and the middle of 0 and 44 is 22. That's our deviations for temperature as well. And there's no minimum pressure you can have, but there's a maximum pressure you can have. And I'm fairly sure you cannot colonize it if you have pressure. My Word document might tell me. If the pressure is too high, you can, but there's going to be a cost to it, and we'll go through it. Gravity is the only one that you just can't colonize it if you go out of those boundaries. So, let's start by adding a colony on Mars. Simple. Add colony. Click on Mars, add colony. Takes a little while. And we are done. But we have no population here. That'll come in handy later when we want to know. I hope I didn't close that and need to come back to it in 2 seconds. Anyway, so we click on Mars, and as you can see, these atmospheric data values change to Mars. So these are the what am I thinking of? The atmosphere of Mars. These are the gases. So 70% nitrogen and 30% carbon dioxide. Now, Mars is devoid of oxygen, and as you saw in those racial tolerances, you need oxygen. So if we were to terraform this, we would need to add the gas oxygen to the atmosphere, and that's good. Also, oxygen can't be too high, regardless of how much of your atmosphere it contributes to in these numbers. It has to contribute to at least 0.1, as you saw in those tolerances. But if oxygen is your entire atmosphere composition, then you would strike a match and you would probably burn the whole planet. Now, not only would that be freaking hilarious, but it's unviable for a colony. So, also, it apparently does damage to your lungs. I'm not too sure about that, but that's what the creator said, so that's why I put it in there. So, oxygen has to be 30% or less, like carbon dioxide is now. So the other 70% has to be other gases, and oxygen has to be at least 0.1 atmospheric, whatever it is. I'm sure it's pressure. I could be wrong. Now, there's a couple of ways you can go about this. One is just to add oxygen, and keep adding oxygen, and eventually you might have the right gas composition. The other way is to just add infrastructure. Infrastructure is probably the easiest way. As I'm going to show you, terraforming takes a long time. Now, I'm going to use that Word document now to show you guys how colony costs is figured out, so you can sort of figure it out for yourself. 1. If the atmosphere is not breathable, the colony cost is 2.0. So if you cannot breathe the atmosphere, as it will tell you here, if it says no, then it's going to have at least a cost of 2.0. If there are toxic gases in the atmosphere, then the colony cost will be 2.0 for some gases and 3.0 for others. So certain, that's sort of dangerous atmosphere. I believe it tells you here if it's got dangerous gases. If it's got dangerous gases, then you need to sort of get rid of those. If you don't, then you're going to have a good colony cost. As you said, buy 2 for some and buy 3 for the rest. It doesn't tell you what gases they are specifically, but you'll know if your colony cost is 3.0, then there's a good chance that it was one of them gases. If the pressure is too high, the colony cost will be equal to the atmosphere pressure divided by the species maximum pressure with a minimum of 2.0. So, let's look at Mars. Let's see if we can find the pressure in here. 0.01. Now, that is not over the maximum of our pressure thing, so we don't have to worry about the pressure factor. We don't have to worry about colony costs from pressure, because it's below our maximum, and that's fine. If it is too high, the colony cost is equal to the atmospheric pressure divided by the species maximum pressure. If it's lower than 2, and I'm fairly sure there's a good chance it will be, that's just in my head, then it will be 2.0 regardless. It cannot be lower. That's what that's saying. If the oxygen percentage is above 30%, the colony cost will be 2.0. Like I said, oxygen's too high, you won't be able to get a good colony cost. Colony cost, you want it to obviously be 0. If it's got Na, then it can't be colonized because of gravity problems. And finally, the colony cost for a temperature outside the range is temperature difference divided by temperature deviation. So if the deviations was 22 and the temperature was 48 degrees below the minimum, the colony cost would be 2.18. There's a couple of reasons that this is important. One is, I'm still hearing noises, what the bollocks? Okay. The only reason this is important is to show you that the 3 most important things you have to look out for: toxic gases, pressure, temperature. These have the most potential effect. As you can see, this is why these colony costs are 25 and 17.41 times. Yeah, other ones like having, a non-breathable atmosphere, or an oxygen that's above 30%, that's only going to be 2.0. That's not that bad. I mean, the colony cost for Mars is only 2.18. That's not really that bad. That's only, 2 months of producing infrastructure, and then bam, you can support 1 million population on that planet. Not much population, mind you, but you can just keep producing infrastructure. And if you have enough population on this planet, you can be dual producing infrastructure, getting infrastructure at twice the rate. Anyway, now before I forget, because I actually forgot, I'm going to show you one error I made in one of my previous videos. You've noticed that I was going through the tech things in the economics, and I could not find jump point theory. I still can't find it, but I don't need to find it, because when I went to class design, I go to passive sensors, and I already have gravitational survey sensors. I don't know why. I might have accidentally researched it and forgot about it, and all you guys would have been laughing. But we're gonna solve this issue now. One new feature I'm going to show you. Well, it's not a new feature, but I'm going to show you it. It's the copy feature. And now I've got to remember where the copy feature is. It'll be somewhere. Copy design. Here it is. I knew it was here. So now there's a copy of this ship. So whatever the previous ship had, this ship's going to have. We're going to rename it. Actually, no, we're just going to auto-rename it. That'll do. Now, next up, we have to get rid of the geological survey sensors and replace them with gravitational. The reason copying design is good is obviously because there's a lot less work involved. As you can see, that took like no time at all. And that's done. So now we just go to the fast OV creation. I'm going to just create one. I don't want more than one. Here's our gravitational survey sensor, so we know it's the right one. We build one. We don't want to add it to the battle task group. I nearly made that mistake before. Or do we? Oh, let's just add it to the shipyard task group. We can always change it later if we so desire. But I think I'm just going to keep it anyway. Also, I'm going to, as a special sort of thing, I'm going to try this just quickly now, because I want to sort of thank those who have supported me and subscribed to my channel. It definitely helps. You're enjoying these videos, and I'm enjoying making them, and you want to see more. And I understand that subscribing takes time out of your day to watch my videos. I hope they're enjoyable, at least. But I want to show my appreciation. So, for anybody who subscribes, I'm going to add your name here. So, it's just a constant reminder that, you're a subscriber. Even just commenting, I think, will get you. Alright, I'm going to change that. If you subscribe, you'll get a name you'll get a ship named after you. If you just comment, you'll get a planet named after you. And the next video, I'll go through all those, and I'll make the changes as necessary. That's just a special little thing I decided to do. Jeff Major did it for a couple of his Let's Plays. I thought, it's a cool idea, I'll take it. Now that I've fixed my errors up, I'm going to very quickly, I won't do it while I'm here. I'll show you how to get terraforming modules. So we go back to our economics. We go to research, and it's one of these. It might be construction, yeah, here it is. You can get a terraforming module, which is a ship component. Terraforming modules can be put on ships, and we're going to put Space Master on so we can get it instantly. I didn't add a password. Economics. We go to research again. We go back here. We scroll to the bottom, and here it is. Terraforming module instant done. Okay. Get rid of that. Onward to the class design. We're going to make a new ship. We'll make it a cruiser, and we'll keep everything like it is. Just to show you how annoying these terraforming modules actually are, I'm going to just stick one on. Now, terraformers take a long time. To terraform Mars, I think it would take about 20 years of in-game time just to get it to the right levels. That's just one planet. So more often than not, it's better to not terraform. It's better to have infrastructure. But of course, you know, that can cause problems. This means terraforming module can also be used as a weapon. You can go to an enemy planet and you can slowly sap their oxygen supplies until you kill off all their population, thus preventing any workforce of any kind. That's cool, I'm yet to try it. So we had one terraforming module. Now watch my speed. Watch how little difference this actually makes. Now my previous design went about 10 times as fast as this. The geological one, we'll go check right now. This is just with 3. And this one is with 5. 5. And it's 10 times as slow. That's just with one module. Not only that, we have an annual failure rate of 5,896%. Now I'm going to show you how to get rid of annual failure rates next episode, and I'm sure you know if you've been paying attention. If you haven't, you'll have to just wait or rewatch. Something I'll just go over next episode. So that's how you get terraforming modules, that's how you make them. And that's terraforming modules. Now, I should have mentioned this at the start of the video as well. But, what do you guys want to see? I'm running out of things to show you guys. I've showed you guys most of the basics now. You know, I mean, I've still got a couple of things I'd like to show you. I'd like to show you how to create a basic warship. You know, that'll take a bit of my time to learn that properly as well. I'd like to show you how to explore other systems, maybe. At least get to another system, even if it is just rushing to it. You know, I'd like to show you these things, but that's only 2 things to go. You know, I did say that this tutorial was only going to be the first year of gameplay, just so you can get started. But, you know, I'm actually having a lot of fun making these videos. Now, the videos will come in much lower quantity as school comes. So, here's my question to you guys. Again, comment, and if you comment, you'll get a planet named after you. What would you like to see from this tutorial series? I've dragged on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And I'd just like you guys to, you know, influence this tutorial series a bit, because I don't know what you guys want to know. You know, I'm teaching you things. You might already know all this stuff by just reading a couple of the tutorials already provided to you by the creator. You know, what if you want to see something else? So, if you want to see something, or if you have just a general question about the game that you want me to answer, comment below. Like the video if you are enjoying this tutorial series, and you think that I'm actually helping you. I don't know how well I'm helping you, but judging by the likes of the first video and ongoing videos, you do seem to like it a little bit. So that's great. And yeah, subscribe if you really think I am worth it. And I will show you that you are that I am worth it by uploading more videos and naming a ship after you, because you are just special for subscribing to me. And yeah, don't worry, previous subscribers, you will get the ship named. And yes, I will literally make ships and go out of my way to make a ship for a subscriber. I will actually do that, because that is how much I want you to subscribe. Okay guys, that'll be it. So, next video, whatever you guys want it to be. Bye.